I'm unhappy 24F with how my boyfriend 26M treats me, but he won't listen to me for long enough for me to get my point across. Hi there! I could really do with some advice on how to talk with my boyfriend properly about things in our relationship I'm really unhappy about. Sorry if this is long, but I feel like I need to get all of this out. I'm quite a sensitive person and hate confrontation, so when I start talking about things that upset me, it really shows, and then I don't feel like I can get my point across. I've 24F been dating my boyfriend 26M for a year. I moved in with him fairly quickly after just a couple of months. I know that's quite early, but at the time it felt right. Early on, he was incredibly sweet. He sent gifts to my door after only having met me a few times. He was full of compliments. He was so charming and didn't treat me like any guy had treated me before. But now he has changed so much. He's almost like a completely different person. I feel like he is constantly putting me down. Whenever I do anything, it seems like he needs to correct me and tell me I'm doing it in the wrong way. Just one example. Whilst cooking, he'll grab the pan off me, sound mad and say I'll do it. I'm obviously the only one who can do it right. He seems to always be hostile about something or other. Living with him is like constantly walking on eggshells. Very rarely do we have an evening when we sit down to dinner and have a nice normal conversation. If he's not on his phone during dinner, he says work stresses him out, so he has to do lots of work from home. 2, he'll ask my opinion about something and always get mad about what I say. If I don't agree with his point of view on whatever we're talking about, he'll always roll his eyes or get mad. Everything is a debate. 1 minute he will get home from work, pick me up and hug me, tell me that he loves me and missed me. Then 5 minutes later, he is completely different towards me. The whole atmosphere changes. He looks so cold and robotic. The only words I can use to describe how he looks is cold fury. At one point when we were out shopping, he was being very snappy and giving me one-word answers. I said, "When you look at me like that, I actually wonder if you hate me." After that, he was very apologetic. He said he doesn't notice when his stress levels are still high from a busy day at work, and that he knows he shouldn't take it out on me. He makes me feel guilty about things that aren't my fault. A couple of days ago, he was telling me about some friends he used to hang out with who had a boat, how they are so much fun and he misses hanging out with them. I said, "Why don't you go and see them? Why don't you invite more friends to our house, as he never really does?" And he doesn't like my friends, so we don't have many people over. But he only said no, that was a different life. I'm with you now. He says things like that sometimes that make me feel like I'm totally boring and that I'm holding him back from stuff. There have also been a few instances that have really made me question his faithfulness. For example, one weekend he spent Saturday with his ex, who is bi. He went to meet her new girlfriend because he says they are still good friends. Then on Sunday, he went to catch up with a female friend from college, who he said he hadn't seen in years. He drove for 3 hours to see her. This isn't something that would bother me at all. I really don't mind whoever I'm with having female friends. But then on Sunday night when we were watching a movie, my phone was on charge in another room. So he gave me his to find something I wanted to buy online. I went on his WhatsApp to send the link to myself, and the app was open on a message to one of his male friends. It went something like this. He went to a party in a different town last weekend for his friend's birthday. I thought it was a bit strange that he didn't invite me, but I was working the next day, so I assumed he didn't want to leave early to have to drive me back in time. He slept over and spent most of the day in this guy's house. And when he texted me, he was really snappy. When he made it home and told me about the guy whose party it was, I realized this guy is the brother of his ex-girlfriend, let's call her Mary. After a while, he told me that Mary was there and that seeing her jarred him. I asked him what he meant by that, if he still had feelings for her. He told me he didn't know what he meant by that, but that he doesn't have feelings for her. I said, "When you say seeing your ex jars you, and you didn't invite your girlfriend to a party that you knew your ex would be at, you have to admit that's a little weird." But the more we spoke about it, he just said he didn't still have feelings for her, and that he knows I've been hurt by guys in the past. But that's not his fault, so I shouldn't take it out on him. I'm really confused about how he treats me. On the one hand, sometimes he can be totally charming, tells me he loves me and wants to build a future with me. The next, he is dismissive and makes it seem like he'd rather be anywhere else than be around me. We had a moving-in party, and when one of my male friends hugged me goodbye, he pushed me into our bedroom, slammed the door, and then punched the wardrobe because he was so mad that this guy had hugged me and had been flirty all night. I know that was awful, and the next day I did tell him it wasn't okay. He just said he loves me too much to stand for guys acting like that around me. But if he loves me that much, why is he so cold towards me half of the time? How do I go about confronting him? but not crumbling. Anytime we've had even the slightest disagreement, he shoots me down. I end up feeling so anxious and start crying. And then he says he can't talk to me when I'm upset. Then we don't ever get to resolve my original point. I've been told before I can be a bit too sensitive, and that's something I've tried so hard to work on. But as I've been typing this, I really don't think that having genuine concerns about how he's treated me is me being too emotional and unreasonable. I love him and just want us to get to a point where we can actually talk about this stuff for more than a couple of minutes. How can I get him to actually listen to me properly? Update: the past month has been so up and down, but I wanted to share an update. After a pretty weird stepping on eggshells kind of morning, I confronted him about his behavior and mood swings. I prepped myself for a huge argument, and honestly, it didn't go exactly as I expected. First of all, he started to deny he was doing anything wrong, but for once I stood my ground. I don't think he was expecting that. I had lots to say. Many of your comments came in useful there, and I tried so hard not to back down. After a while, he kind of changed. He got upset. He then started saying all sorts of things, that he was sorry, but he didn't realize how his behavior affected me, though I'd brought it up many times. A little later on, he said that he had been thinking for a few months, that it was his fault my doctor said I had depression. So that's a huge contradiction. He said that for a few weeks, he had been thinking about breaking up with me, because it's my fault that you are this way, and breaking up sooner would have been the noble thing to do, but that he was so torn for ages. He said that's why he had been even more awful to me lately, that his frustrations were just coming out. Again, contradicting what he said about not realizing how his behavior affected me. He said he has never cheated, but I'm really not sure if I believe that. Maybe it's best if I don't know. Then something really unexpected happened. He started to cry. The first time I have ever seen him cry. He told me that he had been texting a work friend over the past few days about our relationship. He even showed me a message she sent to him, which went something like this: "You have a wonderful textbook, girlfriend, and you are fucking it up because you are being an ass. This is why everyone at work thinks you're a psychopath. You are so cold and bad when it comes to feelings." So I guess it wasn't just me who found his behavior not normal. He cried even more and said that he doesn't feel close to people, that there's only a handful of people he lets in, and he doesn't know why he does that. He said that even being around his immediate family was cold and formal, and he doesn't know why he is like that and can't connect with people. And that's also why he throws himself into work so much. I told him that if he didn't get help, he would end up a very lonely old man. In that moment, I felt pretty strong and proud of myself. So as you may have guessed, we broke up. Part of me for a while even thought about trying to save it and work at it, and now that I look back, I can't believe I was ever even thinking that. He kept saying, "I just don't know what to do for the best. Should we break up or not?" But doing so was absolutely the right thing. I've since had many friends coming forward, saying they didn't trust him, something was off, etc. Regarding the girl I talked about, his ex, who he cheated on his other ex with, I could see on her brother's Instagram a video of my ex smirking at his phone, and the caption was, "He's thinking about my sister," to which he replied with another winky face. So what does that say? But I'm not looking Instagram at this stuff anymore. On the day we broke up, he packed some bags and left. He told me to stay with a friend. It turns out that that friend was his ex's brother, and he's been living there for a month. I will be moving into a new place in 2 weeks, and even though he has gone to stay with his friend, he is still paying his share of the rent. He just swings by to pick up some stuff every now and then. When I'm at work, I haven't actually seen him,